Merry Christmas, folks, and welcome back to the Random Video Blog. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews for December 25th, 2015, where every single Friday I share some stories, give my thoughts in the wrestling world, etc., etc. And I told you a couple days ago I'd be posting a video on Christmas, and I did not lie. The video is going up, albeit a lot later than usual, but it's still up on Christmas, nevertheless. And I did promise you I would be wearing my ugly sweater Ultimate Warrior version here today, and I am, so I did stay true to that promise. But it's been a great day, hopefully for you guys as well. Hopefully you're having a very happy holiday. And then we're gonna make this very, very brief. And I know I always say that, but today we will be making it only a couple minutes long. I'm not going to be going on a 20-minute soliloquy here. But over the course of today, I got an iPad mini. I've got 2K16 for the Xbox One. So if you have the Xbox One, I'd love to play you in this game. I've yet to play it. I even have yet to open it. But I will be off from school for the next month. So hopefully we can play it at some point in the next month. A Macho Man Randy Savage pop vinyl figure. I have a little collection of these. I have the Hulk Hogan one, so it's cool to finally get the Savage one. I got the Sting Into the Light DVD. I've heard nothing but positive things about this DVD, so I can't wait to watch it. I'll probably review it for Next Day of Wrestling within the next month or so. And also, the Ultimate Warrior book that came out earlier this year that I've been dying to get ever since it got released. So happy to finally get it. I'll probably be reading this over break as well. And I got a bunch of other stuff too. The full picture of all the wrestling-related stuff is on my Twitter, on Facebook, and so on and so forth if you want to check it out there. The full picture of the full gifts, wrestling-related stuff is already up on the social media pages if you want to check it out. But not only Christmas update that I wanted to do here too, but this is the final Friday video blog of 2015, which is crazy. Next week's falls on New Year's Day, which I'll be talking about. I forgot if it was 10 things or 7 things or whatever it was, but 10 to 7 things that I want to see happen in 2016 in WWE. So that new video is going up next Friday. It's going to be great. But yeah, this is our final Friday video blog of 2015, which has been a phenomenal year. I have not shied away from saying that. It's been my favorite year personally, wrestling-wise, whatever. It's been a great year. And like I said, I just want to slam shut 2015 as it says in the title. Just by going on a brief recap, like I said, not a 20-minute soliloquy, but a brief recap, a quick recap of 2015 in a nutshell. So 2015 started almost immediately a week in. I attended the TNA Impact Wrestling debut on Destination America in the Manhattan Center, New York City, on the 7th of January. An amazing show. At that time, the second best wrestling show I'd ever been to. Great show. That was January. February, I was at WWE Live at the final day of that month in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Fun show. My first live event in about a year or two, so that was a fun time. In March, I didn't go to any shows in March, but I did interview Chris Jericho, which was absolutely amazing. Probably one of, if not my biggest highlight from 2015, so that was phenomenal. Then we also had WrestleMania, which was my favorite WrestleMania of all time, so you can't really go wrong there. In April, again, I don't think I was at any real shows. I didn't really do much in April in terms of like going to wrestling shows or whatever. I did have jury duty, which I didn't have to do, which was pretty great. My first ever time doing jury duty, which I was oddly excited for, but I didn't have to go for it because the case never went to court, whatever. So that was pretty great. Lucked out there. I got really lucky this year on several occasions, and that was one of them. So that was pretty awesome. May, I was at the Iron 8 for New England Championship Wrestling, an indie promotion in the Beverly, Massachusetts area where my college is at, that I've been going to for the past 2 years now. I attended their WrestleMania-like event that had a 4-man, 45-minute Iron Man match. Was, again, one of the best indie events that I've ever been to. Great time. That was actually my final day of sophomore year of college. I moved out that same day, and I went to that show that Saturday night, which was amazing. So that was a great show. June, I was at Legends of Wrestling, I think the first ever, at Citi Field in New York, which was great. I got to meet Lita, Kurt Hawkins, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who is in my profile picture currently. A lot of great stars. I got to see Goldberg for the first time in person, Ric Flair, Bret Hart, a lot of others as well. That was a really fun time. Got to meet Solomonster, who I've been, inspired by as a podcaster for several years now, so it was great to finally meet him. So that was a great show. July, again, it's odd. July is the only month that I've never been to a wrestling show during, ever, which is just blows my mind. July is the one month that I've never been to a wrestling show. I don't know why. Maybe just because it's a hot month and wrestling promoters don't typically like to hold wrestling events in July, so it's fairly odd. But no, I've never been to a wrestling show during that month. That streak did not end this year. But I did on the 2nd of July, the very beginning of the month. I ran into Mick Foley when I was on vacation, which was amazing. Great vacation, great experience, which I talked about here in the video blog on one of the Friday video blogs, which was great. So randomly running into Mick Foley will go down as one of the strangest, albeit most amazing experiences ever. So that was 2015, and that was the month of July in a nutshell. August, how can you go wrong with Northeast Wrestling at the beginning of the month, only a day right after Roddy Piper had passed away, or no, 2 days after. Piper passed away on the 31st. And I went to Northeast Wrestling that Sunday on the 2nd of August, which was great. I got to talk to Matt Hardy again, as always. Got to meet up with Mick Foley again, which was great. Got to meet Rey Mysterio again, which was great. Got to take a picture with him. Got to meet Alberto Del Rio, El Patron at that time. He was cool. And also got to meet Samoa Joe, probably one of the top 5 coolest wrestlers that I've ever met in person. He was awesome. So that was a really fun show. And probably August will go down as the best month in 2015 for me personally, and just these 3 shows combined. So that show, and then later on that month, the 2 back-to-back days, my first ever NXT show, which was on the bucket list, which I made about a year ago, my wrestling bucket list, go to an NXT show. And by that point, I never really thought they'd be going on tour, because they were still primarily doing shows at a Full Sail University only, solely in Orlando. But they did end up, touring this year. Went to Barclays Center in New York City, in Brooklyn, which was, like I said in the past, my favorite wrestling show that I've ever been a part of, the best wrestling show that I've ever been to. Seeing Bayley win the belt, the NXT Women's Championship, and my personal match of the year with Sasha Banks was amazing. Probably the greatest thing I've ever seen live, right next to Jericho's return in 2014 on Raw, which I was also in attendance for. So that show was great, and the very next day, it was a hectic 48 hours. 72 hours. I wasn't at Raw, but that Raw was great when the Dudley Boys came back. But I was at SummerSlam with John. That was a hell of a time, seeing Brock Lesnar, Taker, Rollins, Cena, and all those great matches. Great 4 hours, and an amazing experience. My first ever WWE pay-per-view. So back-to-back days, I got to knock off 2 items on my bucket list, going to an NXT show and to a WWE pay-per-view, which was great. So that was August in a nutshell. September, a little more low-key, but I was at the Alchemania show, also in Beverly, which was a very fun time. Got to catch up with some people that I hadn't seen in a few years. That was fun. October, I was in Boston for Raw on the first Monday of that month. Got to see Brock Lesnar in person. That was a fun time. November was got to interview Goldberg. Again, amazing. And also that month, I went to Northeast Wrestling for their 20-year anniversary show. Got to meet Bret Hart, the Hardy Boys. I'd already met Matt multiple times before, but meeting Jeff was great. And also the Boogeyman. So that was a very fun time with John. And then finally this month, December, I was at TLC just a little under 2 weeks ago. Again, probably one of the top 5 best wrestling shows I've ever been a part of, or I've ever been to. A really fun time. So also, forgot to mention this too, but 2015, I broke my own personal record for most amount of shows I've been to. So including all the ones I just mentioned, I went to a few others too, just throughout the last 12 months. I think the total number was maybe 12 or 13, something crazy like that. But it superseded the number of shows that I went to in 2014. So a brand new record, which was crazy. I don't know if I'll be able to break that same record next year. I'm not really planning on it, but that was incredible. Just going to SummerSlam TakeOver TLC alone in the same year was phenomenal. Not going to my first ever pay-per-view, going to my first ever NXT show was great. Hopefully, future bucket list, knocking it off, include going to MSG for a show and going to WrestleMania at some point down the line would be amazing. But anyway, so that was a great year in terms of wrestling shows that I've been to. And 2015 as a whole, like I've said before, people, it was a great year for WWE, in my opinion. The last couple months, maybe not more so, but specifically the first 8 to 9 months of the year were great, in my opinion. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably some of the best WWE programming I've ever been a part of, like I've ever been a fan for, going back to 2008. And it's just been a fun year. I'm almost approaching the 10-minute mark here. I said I was going to keep it short, and I always lie when I say that. But it's been a great year. I'm looking forward to 2016, both personally-wise, wrestling-wise, and everything else. Professionally, too. I got started getting paid by Bleacher Report this year, which was a huge step forward. I got to, like I said, interview Jericho, Goldberg, 2 of the biggest interviews I've ever conducted, hands down. Wrestle Rant Radio's had a lot of success this year. Next Air Wrestling's had a lot of success this year. The YouTube channel, we exceeded 800 subscribers. Facebook, we exceeded 700 likes. Twitter, we exceeded 6,000 followers, so a lot of awesome milestones in 2015 alone. So like I said, the greatest year to date, and I'm always up for a challenge. I'm looking forward to making 2016 an even better and bigger year. It sounds cliche, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great year. As great of a feeling as I had for 2015, I have an even better feeling for next year. For WWE, professionally, personally, excited, just all sorts of excited. So I'm looking forward to it. But it's been a great Christmas, been a great year, and I'm looking forward to 2016, as I said. So speaking of such, our first official Friday video blog of the year will come on New Year's Day, next Friday, January 1st. Don't miss it. Like I said, I forgot the exact number, but it was my 7 to 10 things that I look forward to seeing, or that I want to see happen. Not bold predictions per se, but things I want to see happen in WWE in 2016. And I'm looking forward to it. So it's going to be a great year. Cheap plugs before we go off here. I published the article today. I take no days off on Bleacher Report. My top 25 matches in WWE in 2015. It does not count NXT. NXT is not counted in this list. I'll probably be making a list for Hidden Remote or What Culture or something later on this week before the end of 2015 with my top 10 favorite NXT matches of 2015. Not favorite, but rather best matches of 2015. So be on the lookout for that. And that Bleacher Report article is up right now, so be sure to check that out. I have a few more articles coming your way in the next week. Wrestle Rant Radio merchandise, that's a handful, that's a mouthful. That'll be coming on the way as well. I've talked about that in the past. That'll be coming very soon in 2016. I'm already in talks with various other pro wrestling stores, so I'm trying to get that underway in the next couple weeks. And that's about it. So be sure to check out Next Era Wrestling for all the further updates on Raw, SmackDown, Impact, Ring of Honor, NXT, and everything else in between. I feel like there was something else I was going to plug here. The article, subscribe, like, comment, share this video. All support is greatly appreciated. The support from you guys from 2015 alone has been amazing. I think it's exceeded. I think the amount of articles I've written this year has superseded the last 10 years, the last 5 years combined, so that's crazy. But I think that's it. I feel like I'm just missing something else, but like promotion, like plug wise. But I think that's it. I think that's everything, guys. I think that is it for Christmas and for 2015 as a whole. So like I said, find me on the Twitter at WrestleRant. Find me on the Facebook too at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. It's been a great year, guys. Like I said, I'm looking forward to hanging with you some more in 2016. Have a great rest of your Christmas. That's again a tongue twister for me, but have a great rest of your holiday. You can stop listening to me talk from now on for the rest of the day. So enjoy the rest of your Christmas. I'm Graham Juice Matthews, and I'll catch you folks down the road.